हेलो व्यूअर्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल एच रिएक्शंस। मैं आप लोगों के साथ रिएक्शन वीडियोस को लेकर हाज़िर, आपका अपना हसनैन अनवर। तो ये चैनल जो बनाने का मकसद है मेरा, वो मुख्तलिफ़ किस्म की जो वीडियोस हैं उनके ऊपर रिएक्शन करना है। और इसमें तमाम किस्म के जो कंटेंट्स होंगे, बनाई गई वीडियोस होंगी, वो मैं आपके सामने जो है ना उसके ऊपर रिएक्शन वीडियोस जो हैं वो शेयर करूँगा आप लोगों के साथ। और जिन लोगों ने अभी तक इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया, वो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें और साथ साथ जाते जाते बेल आइकन का बटन भी प्रेस करते जाएं, ताकि आपको आने वाली इतनी भी इससे रिलेटेड वीडियोस हों वो आप तक पहुंचती रहें और आप तक जो है वो वीडियोस आती रहें। तो आज हम जिस वीडियो पर रिएक्शन जो है वो देने लगे हैं, वो है मार्क वेन्स की जो इंडियन स्ट्रीट फूड पर, मुंबई की ख़ास तौर पर जो वीडियो है जो बनाई गई थी उनके उसके ऊपर। तो उसके ऊपर जो रिएक्शन है, मैं आपको आज उस चीज़ के बारे में दिखाऊंगा कि किस तरीके से मार्क वेन्स ने जो है वो वीडियो बनाई थी। चलो हम उस चीज़ को तरफ स्टार्ट करते हैं और उस तरफ हम रिएक्शन जो है ना वो दिखाने की कोशिश करते हैं आपको कि उन्होंने कौन कौन सी चीज़ें जो है वो बनाई। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं मार्क वेन्स की वीडियो। लेट्स गेट स्टार्ट।
He should be here soon, and I think we're gonna eat a lot of food today. We met up with Myron, and we just jumped into a taxi. You wanna say what's up, Myron?
Okay, hi guys, Myron here. I'm so happy Mark has made it all the way to Mumbai, finally, you know. And yes, it's really great, it's really awesome, and I'm so lucky that I'm in his video. Never dreamt, I mean, just like you guys sitting out there, I used to be at my home watching his videos, and now here I am in his video. So anyways, thank you, Mark.
Thank you very much, Myron, for the kind words. And we are on our way over to Crawford Market.
अच्छा, मुंबई की भी जो तमाम सड़कें हैं, मेरा ख्याल वो जो बिल्कुल जो है ना वो कराची या पाकिस्तान की कराची से मिलती जुलती सड़कें हैं सारी की सारी।
Market area in Mumbai, and this is the indoor section, which is housed in this old colonial building. You can find just about everything here, from candies and snacks and sweets to nuts and shampoos and just about everything you can find, you can think of, you can find here at this market. And this is the indoor section, but then if you go outside, there are many streets with just a huge bazaar full of everything you can imagine to buy as well. Along with all of the dried products and the household items, there's also some really good looking fruit at this market and some vegetable vendors as well. And you can just smell the ripeness of those mangoes.
Mango.
Thank you. You've really got to be careful of the traffic and the action that is happening on this road. But we are walking down the road from Crawford Market. This is definitely one of the market streets where you have to kind of duck so you don't get hit sometimes by boxes or transport or vehicles, but it's an amazing place, just full of action.
मुंबई काफ़ी हसली बसली एरिया है, काफ़ी ज़्यादा जो है ना रश बहुत ज़्यादा होता है वहाँ पे, रशी एरिया काफ़ी ज़्यादा।
Area is just fascinating. There's so much going on. There are businesses and restaurants and stalls and just lots and lots of people, lots of action. This is an amazing, just action-filled place. And this area is actually the Muhammad Ali Road, which is a very, very famous food street in Mumbai, but it's especially famous in the Ramadan period as well as at night.
ये क्या चीज़ है?
Bone marrow. We have stopped to eat a quick lunch at a restaurant called Nur Mohammed. This restaurant is especially famous for serving nali nahari, and this is beef they're some chunks of beef, and then these little white pieces are bone marrow, which has been extracted from the bone and into the gravy. And this is definitely an orange, oily gravy, and it smells and looks incredible. Oh, this is very fluffy, actually. This is I think this is a tandoori roti. Is it a tandoori roti? And it's actually extremely fluffy. And break off a piece, and I'm gonna make a little cone shape so I can grab some of the curry, and I especially want to get some of that bone marrow in this first bite. Oh wow! Just look at how rich and beautiful
और
that
मैं उसका
curry
नवाला
is.
नहीं बनाना आता सही तरीके से।
That is
इंडिया
amazing.
और पाकिस्तान के खाने सब लोगों को पसंद आते हैं।
Okay. It's so rich and so like oily but amazing. It has a just kind of a light spice blend, and then that marrow, it literally just melts in your mouth along with that oil and those spices. What I'm gonna do next is grab a little wedge of lime and squeeze in a little bit of lime juice. It's so ridiculously rich. It's so rich. Especially, not only is there a lot of oil, but bone marrow on top of it. This is like richness on top of richness. Yeah, this is just one of the more rich dishes I think I've ever had. So tender, and it literally just melts into that bone marrow and oil and sauce. Wow, that is insane.
This nali nahari that I'm having, it's amazing. It's super rich, very buttery, not too spicy, but yes, I love it.
Maybe it's one of the richest dishes I've had in a very long time. There's this little dish of salad, and I think it's chopped up chilies, and I'm not sure what that little one is. It looks almost like ginger. I'm gonna pinch a little
अच्छा ये
bit.
खाना बड़ी स्पाइसी खाता है बहुत ज़्यादा जो है स्पाइसी से तो ज़्यादा खा जाता है।
Yeah, that's sliced up chilies, a little bit spicy, and I think that is ginger, but I think it's baby ginger because the ginger is very mild and just has a juicy ginger taste to it. And a nice like lime sour flavor to it as well. One thing you can do, which Myron has explained to me, is that you can take the piece of meat and just set it into the middle of the roti and just kind of break it, and then then that way it's easy to grab pieces of the roti and take little bits of meat. Oh, and I think I could add some marrow to this bite. Dip it into that beautiful sauce and some white jiggly bits of marrow.
बहुत टेस्टी लग रही है।
Wow. That marrow is unbelievable. I have finished my roti, but I still have some of the curry left, so you can kind of eat it like a soup at the bottom. All that gravy. Wow.
इसका ये रिएक्शन जो है ना वो बड़ा ज़बरदस्त लगता है जब ये कोई चीज़ खाता है और ये उसके बाद रिस्पॉन्स करता है।
And so rich, and so smooth, and so meaty. Oh, one thing I was going to tell you is that in India, because there are so many vegetarians, you either eat veg or non-veg, and veg means pure vegetarian, whereas non-veg usually means like extreme meat. And in India, it would be common to call a dish like this hardcore non-veg, because this is about as opposite as vegetarian as you can possibly get. Also, it's worth mentioning that this is a pretty cool restaurant. It's on the side of the road, and there's a highway which is above ground, so it kind of has a dark feel to it. But then you come back into this restaurant, it's a real classic restaurant. There's like bucket seat couches that we are sitting on, which it's the perfect environment for eating bone marrow stew. We are now walking around down the street in an area
अच्छा
what is
बाज़ारों
called
के
the
नाम भी
Bindi
मिलते जुलते
Bazaar,
हैं
which
सब
is
लोगों के
another
साथ।
huge
भिंडी
bazaar
बाज़ार, यहाँ
area
पे भी
in
जिस तरह से
Mumbai.
कुछ एरियाज़
I'm
हैं जहाँ पर
seeing
इस तरह
just
के
about
नेम्स जो हैं वो
everything you
बोले
can
जाते हैं।
imagine once again, including a whole shop full of different knives, and then there are a lot of like household supplies, plastics. There are a bunch of cats eating meat. And then I'm seeing like a lot of kitchen supplies as well, pot stores, toys. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this market, and just has an amazing feel to it. The stalls are on both sides of the lane. There are bicycles and motorcycles. There are buildings surrounding us, and there are, I think they are crows, which are just flying all overhead. This is a very interesting place to just walk around and explore, and just to people watch and to shop watch.
मसाला वाला बोलोगे तो पोस्ट करके वो भी दे दूँ।
मसाला चीज़ ऐसे मिलेगा?
मिलेगा।
Cheese, if you would like cheese.
Yeah, sure. I don't think of sandwiches when I think about Indian food, but in Mumbai,
किस तरह का सैंडविच बना रहे हैं?
sandwiches with masalas and different spices and potatoes and vegetables are an extremely popular street food snack.
Sure.
Is that meat?
I think it's just like a cold sandwich. कोल्ड सैंडविच का जो है ना ये वेजिटेरियन वर्जन लगता है मुझे। तो चीज़ काफ़ी सिंपल और हेल्दी लग रहा है। काफ़ी अच्छी और यूनिक टेक्निक है इन लोगों की।
This has to be one of the most fascinating street sandwiches I've ever seen made. He took 2 pieces of bread and he put butter all over them, and then he added in, what did he all cut in there? Using a hacksaw blade, he like sliced in some tomatoes, some onions, there's definitely some cucumber, then a masala potato mixture he spread into it, and then he shredded on some cheese, and then he added some chutneys. And the best part about him making the sandwiches is that he had this like iron,
अच्छा यार ये इतना खाता है लेकिन स्मार्ट रहता है, पता नहीं
which
कैसे
he put the sandwich into, and then he stuck it
पता
over
नहीं कैसे अपने आप को
a
मेंटेन
camp,
करता है।
like a propane fire, and it just grilled within that, so it's hot and fresh. So this is a classic Indian Mumbai
दिखने में
street
तो काफ़ी अच्छा लग
sandwich.
रहा है,
So we can see that
मज़ेदार
cross
लग
section.
रहा है।
Oh, that is beautiful. Look at all those layers of vegetables. And this is a vegetarian sandwich as well, but there is some cheese. I'm gonna take this first wedge of sandwich, and I think I'll go in for some of that chutney. Oh, and I'm losing some ingredients though. Oh well. Oh, that's awesome. I can taste a little bit of cumin in there. And what I really like is that beetroot.
हेल्दी सैंडविच
That's
कह
really
सकते
good. The
हैं।
beetroot is just soft and just sort of dissolves. And then you have the crunchy cucumber, the crisp onion, and then the cheese just is melted and just wraps it all together. And then that like minty kind of chutney in there as well. That is pretty awesome. So many different vegetables. And even the potato is really good in there. That was a surprisingly extremely tasty sandwich. It was really colorful with all those different ingredients and all those layers. And yeah, that was really good. Just a very typical sandwich that you'll find all over the streets of Mumbai. We just took a taxi over to Haji Ali Mosque area, and it is insanely packed today, just so many people. So we have decided to stop at Haji Ali Juice Center. I ordered a lemon water, and I got the salted version as opposed to the sweet version. Like extremely salty limeade. This is a beverage that you need when you're sweating outside because it has all that salt in it, so you can retain all of your vitamins, and then that lime juice. Oh yeah, it's pretty rough. Right now it is high tide, so you cannot walk to the mosque, but when it's low tide, there's a pathway that uncovers from the water and you can walk to the mosque. The police have mentioned that at 6 p.m. it will be low tide, so they will allow people to walk to the mosque, and so that's why it's so busy around here right now, is that everybody's just waiting around until 6 p.m. But I think that's in about 4 hours, so I don't think we're gonna stick around. But it was really nice to get a view of the mosque just from the coast here. Hello. We jumped back in a taxi, and it looks like it's gonna rain pretty soon. Or I think it started to rain right now as I said that. And we're gonna take the Sea Link to Bandra, an area of Mumbai called Bandra.
अच्छा, काफ़ी मूवीज़ में भी ये व्यू जो है ना दिखाया जाता है. इंडियन मूवीज़ में, बॉलीवुड की मूवीज़ में काफ़ी व्यू यही दिखाया जाता है.
We made it to Mount Mary, and there's a main cathedral, and then across the street there is a shrine. But you walk inside to the cathedral, and it's just an amazing place of peace and complete calm and silence. The complete opposite of being in the center of the bustle and chaos of Mumbai. And one of the reasons we haven't taken, or even in the videos you haven't even seen auto rickshaws, is because auto rickshaws are not allowed in South Mumbai, which is where we've been so far since being on this trip. So, but this North Mumbai and in Bandra onwards, there are lots and lots of auto rickshaws.
वेदर काफ़ी मज़े का लग रहा है.
It's really windy and raining off and on. We are walking up the promenade to the Bandra Fort. And this is their remains of an old Portuguese fort, but now it's sort of been made into a public park where people come just to sit next to the ocean. The waves are crashing, and from here you can also get a really good view of the Sea Link Bridge. It started raining again, this time pretty hard, so we jumped into an auto rickshaw and we are on our way to a place to have some chat. We just took a pretty intense auto rickshaw ride from the Bandra area to a place called Elko for some different snacks. right along the street, they have an outdoor section where you can just stand and order and eat standing, but they also have a couple floors of indoor sections, and we have just ordered a couple of different chats. This one is called Shev Puri, and they are little discs, crispy discs on the bottom, topped with a bunch of different things and a lot of crispies. There are some peanuts in here. There are, I think that's cilantro. There's some onions and potatoes, just like a splatter of crunchiness. And what you do is you can just grab one with your fingers. It includes so many, oh yeah, on the bottom there you can see all of the different chutneys and sauces mixed in, and then all of those crunchy goodies. I think I'll eat the whole disc in one bite. That's like an amazing nacho. For a moment there, I thought it was actually guacamole because the potatoes in there are so creamy, almost like avocado. You got a little bit of spiciness going on. You've got a little bit of sweetness from the tamarind. You've got just crunchy things all over the place.
पानी पूरी को मेरा ख्याल उन्होंने जो है ना वो थोड़ा सा चेंज करके बना दिया है इसका.
We also got dahi puri, and dahi is the yogurt, and then the puris are those little hollow, crispy shells. It's kind of sweet and salty and crunchy, and then you have a little bit of sourness from the yogurt. But then you can also taste the sprinkle of spices. The Shev Puri in particular was absolutely delicious. That was the best thing that I tried here. We were just walking along the road and we have found a man selling desserts, and this is a type of malai, which is a cream dessert. And actually this one is a very special one because it is made with the very first milk of the cow. And I believe in English that's called colostrum. So it's like the creamiest, richest milk with all the nutrients and all the richness. It looks a little bit like jelly textured, but at the same time it looks kind of like cheese as well. Wow. It kind of has the flavor of cheese, except it's very sweet. And then the texture is like a combination of tofu and jelly or jello. And then at the same time you can taste like a really strong milk flavor. We have made it to an area which is called Linking Road, which is another shopping market, especially for clothes. And again, it is just a packed market. We've been, especially with ladies, because there are a lot of women's clothing here. From the market, we walked over to a restaurant that's called Jai Jawan, which serves Punjabi food, and they're especially known for their prawns fry, which we ordered. And actually, at that market, Linkway Market, they have a stall of this same restaurant, which is just standing. But then you walk kind of about 5 minutes away from there, and there's more of a sit-down restaurant. So we came to the sit-down restaurant to get a little bit of peace. The prawns fry have just arrived. They are hot and fresh, deep fried, coated in a little bit of a batter. And then you can see a little bit of salt or some kind of seasoning sprinkled on top, and you can smell the aroma.
I think it'll be hot. Cheers. Cheers.
Oh, wow. The prawns are like bouncy in texture.
ये enhance करेगा इसका taste को enhance कर देगा इसके.
Salty. That is as good as it looks. Definitely a squeeze of lime.
चटनी के बगैर तो बात वैसे अधूरी होती है.
Maybe a little bit of this chutney as well. I'll put a little bit of this down on my plate. Wow, those are good. Those are like shrimp onion rings, and just like plump and
Amazing
like
reaction,
bouncy
यार.
shrimp.
कमाल का रिएक्शन देता है.
A little bit of that chutney.
सही एक्सप्रेस करता है टेस्ट को.
Wow. And with that extra lime, that gives it the refreshing sour touch. Especially I like it because it contrasts the saltiness. The chutney is also extremely good. You can taste a lot of garlic in there,
Zabardast,
and I
yeah.
think a lot of cilantro and maybe some lime juice, as well as maybe some ginger in there as well. We also had to order some tandoori chicken, which is also a Punjabi specialty. And yeah, tandoori chicken is just one of the great styles of chicken in the world. And we got the whole chicken cut into pieces, and I love those little rivets within the chicken to make sure all the flavor seeps inside and to cook it evenly.
Oh, it's hot.
Oh yeah, that's hot. Oh. Oh, wow. Sometimes when you have tandoori chicken, it's kind of dry, but this tandoori chicken, it's extremely juicy. It is just caked in flavor from that outside, and you can taste like the really fast way that it's been cooked in the clay oven, so that you can taste like the roasted flavor throughout the whole piece of chicken. It's so good on its own, but I am kind of an addict of sauces and chutneys, so oh, that's hot. Oh, I have to go in for some of that chutney. Maybe. I gotta have some of that chutney. That chutney is just ridiculously good. That chutney is awesome. That chutney is award-winning. You could just eat that chutney like a soup. It's garlicky and sour and herbaceous. We also ordered some dal makhani, which is our black lentils, and this is one of the world's great bean dishes. And I cannot wait to try the dal makhani. Oh yeah. That is just one of the world's great, like, lentil bean dishes. Oh, it's so good. And again, that has a nice garlicky taste, and it's creamy. It's just wonderful. I love dal makhani. Another dish we got is called mutton keema. Oftentimes this is served with just white bread.
मतलब वही चीज़ें हैं सारी चीज़ें यहाँ पे पाकिस्तान में होती हैं और वहाँ पे भी ऐसी चीज़ें होती हैं सारी की सारी तकरीबन सेम है सारी चीज़ें, तो उसमें कोई फ़र्क नहीं है किसी किस्म का.
It kind of looks like, I think it's minced mutton with all the spices. Minced mutton. You can taste probably some cumin in there, and just a blend of spices, and then it's like in a rich, kind of buttery gravy. Oh wow, that is marvelous.
Have a safe trip. Enjoy your world tour.
Thank you very much, man.
Okay.
It was fun to hang out.
Enjoy, man, and never stop making videos.
Okay.
Never stop traveling, never stop eating.
Definitely.
That's all I want to say.
All right, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We finished with dinner at Jaijawan. That was some amazing food, and we took a taxi all the way back to South Mumbai, where we're staying in Kulaba. It was a day, we seemed to go to a lot of busy, packed, just kind of chaotic markets today, which was very interesting, awesome to walk through, and also had some delicious food, and it was great to hang out and meet Myron. Thank you all very much for watching this video. Please remember to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment below. And also make sure you subscribe
बड़ा अच्छा लगा मुझे इनकी वीडियोस देख के. अच्छा, मैंने ये चीज़ नोट किया मैंने कि खाना जो है वो बिल्कुल सेम है, मतलब कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. जैसे यहाँ पर भी ये जो मटन कीमा और ये जो तंदूरी चिकन वगैरह जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा खाया जाता है, पसंद किया जाता है, और टेस्ट जो है वो वाकई नो डाउट कि अच्छा होगा वहाँ पे भी. और मेरी बड़ी ख्वाहिश है कि मैं वहाँ पे इंडिया में आकर जो है वो इस तरह हमारी यहाँ पे स्ट्रीट फूड्स हैं, इस तरीके से वहाँ पर भी जो स्ट्रीट फूड्स हैं उनको ट्राई करूँ. तो अच्छा रिस्पांस था काफ़ी इनकी तरफ से जो खाना है, क्योंकि पाकिस्तानी खाने और इंडियन खाने जो हैं ये वर्ल्ड फेमस खाने होते हैं. इनको कोई भी जो है ना वो इनकार नहीं कर सकता कि ये खाने जो है वो मज़ेदार नहीं है. तो तकरीबन हमारा टेस्ट जो है ना वो सेम ही है, क्योंकि हमारी जो रीजन है ये टेस्ट से जो है ना वो भरी हुई रीजन है. तो बड़ा अच्छा था इनका वो दिखाने का अंदाज़, और ख़ास तौर पे जो इनका रिएक्शन है ना, जो ये जिस अंदाज़ से ये खाने का एक्सप्रेस करते हैं, उसका टेस्ट को एक्सप्रेस करते हैं, और वो बता देते हैं कि भाई जो खाना है वो बिल्कुल एग्जैक्ट कैसा है अगर अच्छा है तो उनका रिस्पांस देखने वाला होता है, और अगर जो है ना उनका रिस्पांस थोड़ा सा कम आता है तो पता चल जाता है कि खाना जो है ना वो कितने लेवल का अच्छा है। तो जिस तरह का इसका इनका रिस्पांस आता है उससे काफ़ी चीज़ें है ना वो जज करने में आसानी हो जाती है कि वहाँ पे खाना जो है वो कैसा होगा। तो बहुत अच्छा लगा इनको जो है ना वो इंडियन स्ट्रीट फूड जो है ना वो, ये मेरी पहली वीडियो थी, मैंने जो रिएक्शन वीडियो आपके सामने जो है ना वो बनाई है। तो काफ़ी अच्छा टेस्ट था, और देखने में पता लग रहा था कि काफ़ी अच्छा टेस्ट होगा, तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा। और ज़रूर कभी ये हमारे जो ये जो बॉर्डर्स हैं और ये जो हमारी जो पॉलिटिक्स है, अगर ये हमें कभी इजाज़त दे तो हम भी कभी वहाँ पर आएँ और हम आके वहाँ पर देखें कि किस तरीके से जो है ना वो टेस्ट वगैरह जो है वो हमें मिलता है, और लोगों से मिलें और उनसे बातें करें, और हम लोग जो है ना उनसे भी अपने व्यूज़ शेयर करें उनके फूड के बारे में। और इसी तरीके से दोस्तों तमाम जो वीडियोज़ हैं वो आपको रिएक्शन की मिलती रहेंगी, और आपने प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब करना है, लाइक करना है, कमेंट करना है, और प्लीज़ 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 आपने जो बेल आइकन है उसको प्रेस कर देना है, ताकि जो है वो आपको इस तरीके से वीडियोज़ जो हैं वो मिलती रहें। तो मैं आप लोगों से जो है ना वो थैंक यू करता हूँ, आप लोगों ने जो पहली वीडियो जो है वो मेरी देखी है। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर व्यूइंग।